Today we'll be looking at the Marauders for Firefight. The Marauders are greenskins of various strides. You've got your orcs, you've got your goblins, you've got your trolls, or in this case they're called hulks. You've got hobgoblins, although in Firefight there are none. They were introduced when the GCPS went to the planet Gorn, and they saw what the orcs were doing and how powerful they were, and decided that we could use them to our advantage as muscly troops. So that's what they decided to do. However, the problem with that is that with enough training and enough of them riding through the ranks, they decided to turn on the GCPS and, well, took as much gear and tech and whatever else and buggered off to become mercenaries and pirates and the like. Not all communications between what is now known as the Marauders and the GCPS have broken down. A lot of the corporations of the GCPS still work with the Marauders as mercenaries, and in fact the Marauders will work with pretty much everyone. They are pretty good at resisting the plague. Well, in fact, they are completely resistant to the plague. They can't be affected by it, which is why you will never see any plague marauders in any way, shape or form. Starting with the orders on page 124. First one is Gora Endures for 1 command point. This unit gains +1 AP on trademark weapons when performing a shoot or steady aim action. Boosted for +1 command point. In addition, the unit gains Weight Fire 1 and Vicious Shoot keywords. This is an order I really wouldn't bother with the boosted version. Yes, having Weight Fire and Vicious is nice, but having AP on your basic rifles is kind of what you really need for the Marauders. It's not like they're that inaccurate, it's just that a lot of the weapons are a bit meh when it comes to AP, unfortunately. It is a good command to use, and one that I would definitely use if you're using units of commandos. Next one is No Questions Asked, 2 command points. Units with the vehicle keyword may not benefit from this order. The unit increases its sprint stat by 3 inch, and all assault weapons with AP dash gains AP 1. The basic thing isn't bad. It is expensive if you just want it for the extra sprint, but it does mean that basic Marauder commandos can be a little bit nasty in close combat. It is an expensive order to use, however, but an extra 3 inch of sprint, that makes it 15 inch for most units. You can use it on more beasts, that gets them an 18 inch sprint. Ripper Maulers get a 15 inch sprint. What else we've got? Grunt bots get a 15 inch sprint. You know, you've got options with it, and I think it does have its uses, but like I say, it is expensive. Next one is Extreme Violence for 2 command points. Command and specialist units only. This unit gains Vicious Assault and an additional +1 AP with its assault weapons during a charge action. It's a shame you can't use it on brawlers, but oh well, I suppose. And you can't use it on more beasts either. That's a shame. Ripper Maulers is a good example, as these grunt bots is good to use on. Skyscrapers, maybe skyscrapers. What else have we got? Hulk into bad choice, considering it's got 3 dice and AP2 in close combat. Oh no, that's support, can't do it on that bugger. Ripper Warlord, Brawler Captain, and the Marauder Warlord are probably your best command options to use it on, if I'm completely honest. Next one is Can't Miss for 2 command points. This unit may carry out a shoot or steady aim action at the target within 12 inch with a shoot value of 4+, boosted for +1 command point. Instead, the unit may carry out a shoot or steady aim action at a target within 6 inch unit using a shoot value of 3+. This one is very good but very situational. You are going to have to get close to be able to use it. However, if you know what you're doing and you've got a fair few commanders knocking around, you can really make this order go far. I mean, use it on Marauder Brawlers, for example. They shoot on 6s. They've got 12 inch range on the pistols. You increase the shoot value to 4. Shoot them in, shoot a few enemies down, then get them into close combat. It can make a difference. Marauder Commando, shooting on 5s, shooting on 4s. In fact, actually, the can't miss on the Brawlers wouldn't be a bad idea for boosting it. Yes, it used 3 command points, but you're shooting on 3s rather than 6s. And let's face it, that is going to make a big difference. What else have we got? Ripper Rainmakers. I can't see it being that useful considering how much of a target they are, but I can see if they are able to get close enough, yeah, they're going to hurt things a lot. They've got a shoot value of 5, so having a shoot value of 4, yeah, that's going to be nasty. Skyscraper isn't a bad option. Get them where you want it first turn, and then the turn after, just shoot. You have to get them there, which is the main problem, but they've got a sprint of 15, so it's not necessarily hard to do it. But yeah, this order's a good one, but you're going to have to know what you're doing with it. Next is every penny counts for 1 command point. Following a blaze away action, this unit may immediately perform a 3-second blaze away action against the same target or another target that is within 9 inch of the first target, provided it is also in range and line of sight. So for suppression options, it's mainly for rifles really. I don't think anyone else is going to be that bothered about doing it. Yeah, that every penny counts is really just for commandos. It has its uses, but Marauders aren't lacking for pinning weapons. So, while it has its uses, I think it's a little bit of a waste, if I'm honest. A little bit of a waste. Next, finally actually, is explosive rounds for 1 command point. The unit gains blast D2 on all its anti-tank weapons when targeting any unit within a building or wholly within an area of difficult terrain with a height of 2 or more. So if a unit's in an objective and there's terrain around, could be useful on that. Anti-tank when shooting a building. Well, vehicles can't go in buildings, which I suppose a lot of people is going to think to start with. But let's not be too hasty, because missile launchers are anti-tank, but they get 2 dice, and it's blast D2, so could have 4 hits going off, potentially an enemy unit if they're in a building. What else we got here? Mules have got can take missile launchers, could be used on buildings. Ripper Rainmakers, again, that's another thing. I'm pretty sure you can do blast D2 on close combat things, can't you? I'll just have a check. See. Yeah, blast would work in close combat, unless something's been FAQ'd. Blast would affect close combat as well, so grunt bots, it'd work on that. Ripper maulers, it'd work on that. Would it work on? Yeah, it'd work on skyscrapers 2 because they can take a missile launcher. Only one, unfortunately. Hulk, it'd work on the Hulks. It'd work on Marauder weapon teams if you swap out the twin missile launchers for Hugh cannons. Stunt bots, it'd work on some of them. Gun tracks. I know this unit it'd work on really well. Oh yeah, it'd work on Broncos and Wolverine tanks, not the APC. So there are options to use it on, actually. There are quite a few options. I can see it being very useful, but you're going to have to use your anti-tank weapons on it. So that's your trade-off there. So the troops starting on page 124. First one is the Marauder Brawlers. Speed 612, shoot of 6, assault of 4, armour 5, 1 health, nerve 5, height 2, unit strength 2, 60 points. Countercharge, overwhelm 7+, so you need at least 7 models in the unit to get the extra unit strength when near objectives. Resilient 1, vicious assault. Not bad. You get 4 brawlers and a sergeant, so 5 in total. All come with a pistol, which is 12-inch range, 1 dice, a trademark, and claws, which assault, 2 dice, AP1. You can add up to 5 brawlers for 10 points each. That is 110 points for 10. You can have 1 brawler replace its pistol with a flamer. Oh, the flamer one keeps its claw. That's interesting. Oh. Yeah, flamer is 12-inch, 2 dice, it burns. So, just your typical flamer. It's 10 points to do that. Any of the brawlers, including the sergeant, may replace their claws with a Ripper claw for 5 points each. It just adds an extra dice. That's what I've got them with. It's hard to do, but I've moulded them with a claw in each hand and then a shoulder mounted pistol. It's just something a bit different, and to be honest, it looks cool. But to be honest, that's how I'd do it. It's an extra 50 points to do that if you want all 10 to do that. So that is 170 points actually if you want the flamer as well, which I have the flamer. I know, 165. Yeah, I think it's 165 because if you take the flamer instead of the pistol, wouldn't the pistol have taken the Ripper claws override taking the flamer? If you get what I mean. Or maybe I'm thinking it all wrong. I don't know, I think that's just me. I'd take a flamer with them just so you can affect them with it burns before you get them into close combat, to be honest. Even if you don't take the Ripper claws, 2 dice in close combat for a unit of 10, that's 20 dice. AP1 light and medium armoured infantry, it's going to hurt them a lot. Even heavily armoured infantry are going to take a few casualties. Yeah, they're great. They're really good in close combat. They're not great in shooting, but if you use the can't miss order on them, they just become a hazard, all round hazard. Next we have the Marauder Commandos. Speed 612, shoot of 5, assault of 5, armour 5, 1 health, nerve 5, height 2, unit strength 2, 60 points. Overwhelm 7 plus resilient 1, suppressive 5. You get 5 of them, 1 sergeant and 4 commandos. You get basic assault weaponry, which has changed. I didn't realise this. They got no AP, but they get 2 dice as standard. Wow. Huh, I didn't know that. Wow. Wow, that changes a bit. That makes them a bit more useful in close combat. Yeah, they also come with a rifle, which is 18-inch 1 dice, blaze away trademark. Yeah, so they're not bad in close combat, and they're not bad at ranged either. Okay. Okay. Add up to 5 commandos for 10 points each. That, like the brawlers, is 110 points for 10. You can replace one of the commandos rifle with either a flamer for 10 points, which I've just explained, a HMG for 10 points, which is range 18, 4 dice pinning. It doesn't have any AP, but it is a horrible weapon with 4 dice. Or a missile launcher for 15 points, 24-inch range, 2 dice, AP2, anti-aircraft, anti-tank. It's nice, it's got both them options. Plus being AP2 can still make a mess. Oh, yeah, one more thing. The sergeant can replace its rifle with a pistol and the assault weaponry with a claw for free. I probably won't bother with that. I'd just leave more with rifles and assault weaponry. I wouldn't take the commandos with a flamer. Main reason being is, yes, they get 2 dice in close combat, but they haven't got any AP and they're average in close combat, hitting on 5s. I'd more often go with a HMG because 4 dice for shooting, so what's that? That's 9, that's 13, hang on, wait a minute. Yeah, that's 13 dice going off on 1 unit of 10 with pinning. That is going to hurt a fair bit. I would go with a missile launcher, but only on a small unit of 5. The reason being is that on a unit of 10 you can whittle the numbers down a lot too easily. Yes, you want something to take the shots before they damage the missile launcher, but if you have a unit 5 you can put them in a mule, wheel it around wherever you want. Or have 2 units of 5, each with a missile launcher, and put them either in an APC or put them in a Hornet if you really wanted to. You've got options there. It's just cheaper, and I think for a dedicated tank hunting unit, I think it's probably your best way to go. The commandos aren't bad. I'd definitely go with a special weapon no matter what you do with them, to be honest. Apart from a flamer, obviously. Next we have the More Beasts. Speed 615, no shoot value. Assault 4, Arm 4, 1 health, Nerve 6, Height 2, Unit Strength 1, 55 points. Beast, Countercharge, Frenzy 1. You get 5 more beasts, one of them being an alpha. They all get assault weaponry, which is 2 dice, AP 1. You can add up to 5 for 8 points each, so that's 95 points for 10. 9 of them, up to 9 excluding the alpha, can replace its assault weaponry with the following for 5 points each, which are bombs. 2 dice, AP2, Blast D2, 1 shot. I wouldn't do that because yes, they look tasty and powerful, but they're only 1 use and you're paying 5 points for that. It don't sound like much on its own, but if you have so many bombs, it's gonna catch up. It's 45 points to do that, so it's 140 points for 9 with bombs. I honestly don't think the More Beasts are that great, to be honest. They're fast. That's the only thing going for them. They are so fast. The Marauder Brawlers are a bit more durable, and at least they've got a shooter weapon before you get into close combat. They can also swap the weapon if you want for a really good close combat weapon. If you want to use More Beasts, why not? Yeah, not for me. It's personal preference, but they're not for me. Unless I've got points remaining, then I just won't bother. One thing to note before we continue. Most Marauder units have got Resilient 1 on them. That means enemy units have to re-roll a successful dice that wounds. It's going to be a keyword that you're going to forget, so you really want to remember it. It's going to be the keyword that you use, like the Forge Fathers with Headstrong. That's the one that appears so much for them. Resilient appears so much for the Marauders. So next one we have the Mule Transport. Speed 12, 18, Shooter 5, Assaulter 5, Arm 6, 4 health, nerve 5, height 4, unit strength 0, 45 points. Auxiliary, capacity 6, evade, wield and vehicle. Comes with a pinnacle mounted HMG, which is 18 range, 4 dice, pinning, and ramming, which is 2 dice AP1. And you can replace the missile launcher, sorry, the HMG with the missile launcher for 5 points. I've been over that. I have all 3 mules with a missile launcher. I could do HMG if I wanted to, but considering what else can take HMGs, nah. Honestly, even if you don't use it as a troop transport, having it moving around as a mobile anti-aircraft and anti-tank unit isn't a bad option either. It's armor 6, so you're going to have to spend massive, well, not massive, you're going to have to spend some AP weapons to shoot at it. 4 health means it'll stick around for a couple of turns if you're not careful with it, but if you know what you're doing, it'll probably last for the entire game. It's got a sprint of 18 inch, so you can run around pretty quickly. A capacity of 6 is a lot more helpful than you might think for the Marauder mule variant. For example, you could take a Marauder Warlord on his own, and then have a unit of 5 commandos just in the same transport. It might not be the best option, so you could have 5 brawlers if you wanted, but they're still separate units. So it's just that little extra you could do with it. I like the mule. It's a nice model that you don't actually need glue for it. You don't need to glue it on at all. Everything either clips together, bits clip together very well, or hold together immensely well with friction. Plus it's got an opening back door, which is really nice. Next we have the specialists on page 126. Starting with the Ripper Rainmakers. Speed 612, shooter 5, assault 5, armor 6, 3 health, nerve of 4, height 3, unit strength 2, 110 points. Bulky resilient 1, targeting systems. So targeting systems means each one can fire at a separate enemy unit if you want. And considering how many weapons they've got, it's not necessarily a bad option. You get 2 Rainmakers, one's a leader, one's not. They get basic assault weaponry, which is 2 dice. Oh, the weapons. Are we ready? Starting with the rotary cannon, 18 inch range, 4 dice, AP1. Hugh Beamer, 36 inch range, 1 dice, AP3 and tank. Rocket salvo, 12 to 36 inch range, 1 dice, AP1, indirect and pinning. So yeah. And you can add up to 2 Rainmakers for 50 points each. That is 210 points for 4. It's expensive, but my god does it make a mess. I've used it once or twice, and yeah, they are ridiculously powerful. I mean, the rotary cannon, even if you've just got 2 rotary cannons, that's 8 shots, and if you've got 4, that's 16. And shooting on 5s, that's gonna hurt, and it's got AP1 as well. The Hugh Beamer's good anti-tank weapons, so you've got 4 of them going off against a Forge Father tank, and it's gonna hurt a lot. And the rocket salvos you probably want to spread all over the place, so you get some pinning spread out everywhere, which I think is probably your best bet, to be honest. The Rainmakers are the bodyguard of choice for me for the Ripper Warlord, but that's just my own personal preference. But for Rainmakers, I'd try to have a unit of 4 of them. It's expensive, but like I say, it makes so much of a mess. Next you have the Ripper Maulers. Speed 612, no shoot value, assault of 4, armour of 6, 3 health, nerve of 4, height 3, unit strength 2, 90 points. Advanced Training, Bulky, Countercharge, Inspiring, Resilient 1 and Tactician 1 black dice. I don't understand why the Ripper Maulers are seen as like micro leaders in some respect. I don't understand it. You get 1 leader and 1 mauler, so 2. They all get Buzzsaw and Ram, which are assault weapons, 3 dice, AP3 and tank. You can add up to additional 2 maulers for 40 points each. That is 170 points for 4. I would, if I'm completely honest, have them as a unit of 2, to be honest. I don't. It's not that a unit of 4 wouldn't cause a hell of a lot of damage in close combat. They would. It's just getting there. The Raidmakers have got a lot of firepower, so they don't need to get into close combat. The Ripper Maulers do. Yes, they're armor 6, but armor 6 you are getting dangerously within AP weapons taking you down. Plus they haven't got heavy armor, so I mean even basic rifles need 6 pluses to wound you, so you just be careful. I mean, having unit 4, you've got a lot of wounds on you at least, but yeah, just have them in units of 2, to be honest. That's how I'd do it, but that's just me. Next we have the Gruntbot. Speed 612, no shoot value, assault of 4, armor 7, 2 health, nerve 5, height 3, unit strength 2, 85 points. Bulky, frenzy 2, heavy armor and walker. You get a Gruntbot and leader, so 2. They all get assault weaponry, which are 4 dice, AP2 and tank, and you can add up to 2 additional Gruntbots for 40 points each, so that is 165 points for 4. Honestly, I think the Gruntbots are way better than the Maulers. The Maulers have got more health, yes. Their nerve value is better, yes. They've also got advanced training, inspiring and a tactician dice, yes. But the Gruntbots have got heavy armour and armour 7. They are going to survive so many more hits, and your opponent's going to need to use their anti-tank weapons on them, which could mean that your Wolverines, your stunt bots and a lot of other heavily armoured units are getting off scot-free. Hell, if you keep them as a unit of 2, it means that your opponent might not think much of them until it's too late, but a unit of 4, your opponent will be going after them. But it just means other things are safe, so you could use it to distract your opponent, and they are vicious looking models, and if you paint them right, they could be a magpie unit which your opponent's just going to go after like no one's business. That being said though, that's not the main reason. Well, I've already said why. I think they're better than the Maulers. They're just more durable overall, I think. And plus they've got more dice. Yes, they haven't got the extra AP, but to be honest, having more dice is probably a better idea considering their AP 2. AP 3 is for the heaviest units, but even with AP 2 it's still going to hurt. Next we have the Skyscrapers. Speed 615, shoot 5, assault 4, armor 5, 2 health, nerve 5, height 2, unit strength 2, 60 points. Advanced training, aerial deployment, anti-grav, resilient 1 and scout. You get 1 skyscraper and 1 leader, so 2. They come with basic assault weapons, so 2 dice. Shotguns, which are 12-inch range, 2 dice, knockback. Knockback does, because it's not really a common keyword you find. Knockback. Units with weapons with this keyword will get +1 dice when the target is within half the total range of this weapon. Units are considered within half range when assaulting units with this keyword. So close combat weapons with knockback get extra dice. Nice. So if you're within 6-inch range with the shotgun, you get 3 dice. Oh, they've got advanced training. So you don't need to be within 12 to get the command off. Ooh, this changes things a bit. So, if you remember the can't miss order. Using the can't miss order on the skyscrapers will mean if you get within 6, they shoot on 3s. With 3 dice each, that's going to be nasty. Now you might think there's only 2 of them. 1, that's 6 dice. 2, we'll get to the next bit. You can add up to additional 2 skyscrapers for 25 points each. That is 110 points for 4. So if you use the can't miss order within 6-inch range, they have 3 dice shooting on 3s, so that is 12 shots hitting on 3s. Yeah, that's gonna hurt a lot. Up to 4 skyscrapers, including the leader, can replace their weapons with the following for 5 points each. You replace the shotgun with a pistol, which is not as good, but you do get a Ripper Claw, which I've already explained. If you want to make them a dedicated close combat unit, yeah. The assault on 4s anyway, so it's not necessarily a bad option. Plus, there's the no questions asked order, which increases their sprint by 3, so you got an 18-inch range sprint. Yeah. You can replace 1 skyscraper's shotgun with either a flamer for 10 points, HMG for 10 points, or a missile launcher for 15 points. I would go with the HMG. The only reason being is that you pin an enemy, then get them into close combat. The flamer's also a good option, same range as the rest of the skyscraper's weapons, so not necessarily a bad option. Missile launcher, there's a better way to get missile launchers. Yeah, I won't bother with that. Next we have the Wolverine APC. Speed 612, shoot of 5, assault of 6, armor 7, 5 hit points, nerve of 5, height 4, unit strength 1, 80 points. Tracked vehicle capacity 10. They get 2 HMG sponsons. Does someone, if this has been FAQ'd and this is a printing error, please let me know in the comments below. I don't think it is, but just let me know if in case it is. So that is 8 dice coming after you. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Even if you don't use it for the transport capacity, 8 dice pinning is horrible. It's just horrible. It's also got ramming in it as its close combat weapon, 2 dice AP1. You can give it smoke launchers, which are 10 points. Self only, 1 shot. It can be good, but you need to be careful how you use smoke, because it gives you some cover durability, but you've got to be careful how you use it. You've got to be careful on that. There's other ways to get HMGs out there, but the Wolverine APC is not a bad way to go about it. I suppose if you want cheap HMGs, you could go with a mule. There's options there. Finally, for the specialist, we have the Marauder weapon team. Speed 612, shoot of 5, assault of 6, armor 5, 3 health, nerve of 6, height 2, unit strength 0, 80 points. Bulky targeting systems, so each one can target a separate unit. These are crewed by goblins. Yeah. Because in the Warpath universe, goblins are treated by respect because their fingers are smaller, so they can deal with the more technical stuff than the orcs can. And the orcs understand and respect this. You get a leader, weapon team, and a normal one, so 2. They both get basic assault weapons, which in this case is 1 dice. And I thought it'd be 2 because there's 2 models on each base, but I get why it's only 1. They're not meant to be a close combat unit. They both have twin missile launchers, 36-inch range, 4 dice, AP2, anti-aircraft, blast D2. Really good against aircraft, but even if you don't use it on aircraft, it's a good infantry killing unit, quite honestly, if you just use the twin missile launchers. Or you could replace any of the missile launchers with Hugh cannons for 15 points each. Range 24, 2 dice, AP 5, anti-tank, devastating 2. Not a bad anti-tank weapon. That is 30. That's 110 points for both if you want to do that. It's an option. It's an option. It's AP 5, so against heavy armour like tanks and a fair few of the walkers, it's not a bad way to go about it. Either's a good option, to be honest. Either. To the sport, start on page 129, starting with the Hulk. Maybe not incredible, but a pretty good Hulk. Yeah, the pretty good Hulk. Speed 612, shooter 4, assault of 5, armour 6, 4 health, nerve of 5, height 4, unit strength 1, 75 points. I don't know why they're height 4. They're not really that much bigger than Ripper suits. I mean, height 4, what does that do? That puts them on the same height as mules and wolverines. Unless Mantica can make new models for the Hulks, yeah, they should really be height 3. Bulky, resilient 1. They get assault weaponry, which in this case 3 dice, AP 2, and you get 1. It comes with a compact Hugh cannon. Range 18, 2 dice, AP 5, anti-tank, devastating D2. The range is a bit short on this one. Range is a bit short. Add up to an additional Hulk for 70 points. That makes it 145 points. If the range was way longer, like double, I would consider it. But yeah, I don't think it's worth it. You might as well you might as well have the Marauder weapon teams, because their range is longer, quite frankly. Yeah, I suppose they've got 4 health and they've got resilient 1 on them. That's the counter argument, I suppose. The moving around with their anti-tank weapons, but they're a bit too short range for my liking. That's just me on that. I'd rather they be slightly longer range. Next we have the Stunt Bot. Speed 612, shooter 5, assault of 5, armor 7, height 5. 5 health, nerve 5, height 4, unit strength 1, 90 points. Controlled fire, countercharge, heavy armor, vehicle, walker. It comes with, you only get 1 of these. It comes with a thermal cannon, which is 24-inch range, 2 dice, AP2, anti-tank, devastating 2, D2, sorry. A buzzsaw and auxiliary flamer, which the assault is 5 dice, AP2, frenzy 2, and 12-inch range, 2 dice, it burns. So you've got 2 ranged weapons, one's an it burns weapon, which why not, and the thermal cannon is a little bit short of range, but it's a not bad close comp. It's not a bad range weapon. The buzzsaw though, being 5 dice with frenzy 2 and AP 2, it's a strong infantry killer. You can replace the buzzsaw and auxiliary flamer with the following for 20 points. You can give it a Hugh beamer, Hugh cannons, sorry, which is the same as the. Is it the same? Yeah, it's the same as the weapon teams 1. And the assault weaponry is 3 dice instead of the 5 dice and AP2 on the buzzsaw. You can replace the thermal cannon with a big claw for 5 points. Assault 4 dice, AP3, anti-tank. Would this mean you'd have to roll the buzzsaw dice separate to the big claw dice? I'm guessing you would, because the AP is different and one's got anti-tank on it. I'm guessing that's how it works. You could make it hideous in close combat. It's got 9 dice as standard, all with at least AP2 on them. Or you could make it a fairly decent anti-tank unit that walks around. That's 110 points to have the anti-tank variant, or 95 points to have the close combat variant. Either's not bad. It's armor 7 with heavy armor and 5 health, so I think it's pretty decent. You've got to watch out because it'll be a target no end, but with controlled fire and counter charge you get some pretty decent anti-charging options. So I suppose it depends what you want to go for. Yes, there's plenty of close combat weapons and plenty of anti-tank options, but this is another one that can really deal it out, I think. Next we have the gun track. Speed 6'9", shooter 5, assault of 7, armor 6, 5 health, nerve of 6, height 4, unit strength 0, 60 points. Tracked and vehicle. You only get one of these. Assault weaponry for it is 2 dice. You get a heavy Hugh cannon, which is 36-inch range, 2 dice, AP 5, anti-tank, devastating 2, slow reload. So if you move and shoot with it, you need 6s. You can replace the heavy Hugh cannon with a heavy mortar for 15 points. Range 12 to 48, 3 dice, 2 AP 2, blast D2, indirect, pinning, slow reload. That's an immense weapon. I have seen it where you've got one hiding behind a building and just pot shotting things. It don't hit that often, but when it does hit, it's an absolute mess. It's fun. It's fun as well. Yes, you need 7s to hit, but with 3 dice, you've got a little bit of chance to hit with at least 1. And blast D2 and pinning. Yeah, that's not nice. I really like the gun track with the heavy mortar on. The heavy Hugh cannon, I'm not saying it's bad. The problem is that you are armor 6, and yes, you've got 5 health, but with armor 6, yeah, it's not going to be that hard to take you down. So I'd give it a mortar for 15 points, make it 75 points, hide it behind a building, pot shot enemies all over the place. That's just me. Next we have the Hornet dropship. Speed 12-18, shooter 5, no assault value, armor 7, 5 health, nerve 5, height 6, no unit strength, 80 points. Capacity 12, fly, targeting systems, vehicle. Comes with a rotary cannon, which is 18-inch range, 4 dice, AP1. Yeah, I've already been over that. Can add correctional stabilizers for 10 points, granting it the headstrong keyword, always. With a free chance to get rid of pinning, especially on aircraft where your first action has to be to move. Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Well, actually, it's not your first order. You have to use one of your orders to move. Otherwise, the fly just explodes. That's how it works. So yeah, paying that 10 points is, yeah, just do it. You can replace the rotary cannon with a laser cannon for 10 points, 36-inch range, 3 dice AP, 3 anti-tank. Not bad. Or a missile launcher, 3 for 10 points, 36-inch range, 2 dice AP, 2, blast D4, anti-aircraft. Again, not bad, and possibly a not bad infantry killing weapon. Although the rotary cannon, I just like the rotary cannon. The Hornet may reduce its transport capacity by 2 and add crew-operated HMGs for 20 points. Now, I'm probably going to have to do this in another video at some point, but what I've done is magnetise the inside, so the transport thing, the doors drop down and I've got magnets on it, and I've drilled magnets into the feet of 2 Marauders with HMGs, so I could do that. They're just standing there while the Hornet's flying about, just gunning things. It looks amazing. I might put it on the end of the video. I'm not sure. We'll see. It's 20 points to do that, so 100 points. You get 2 HMGs, which are 18-inch range, 3 dice, pinning. If you do that, I'd probably keep the rotary cannons, because that is 10 dice coming your way. 6 shots with pinning, 4 4 shots with AP1. Honestly, that's not a bad way of going about it. The GCPS variant, the problem with that was there's so much anti-aircraft stuff, it's just going to get shot down too quickly. This has got the same problem. However, because you've got crew operated HMGs, you've got pinning weapons, so you've got a chance of making it harder for the anti-aircraft weapons to be able to target you for a return. So you've got a little bit of leeway that way. For that reason, I'd always go for the HMGs. Yes, you're losing 2 for transport capacity, but you still got a capacity of 10, so that's how I'd do it. But next we have the gunship variant. Speed 1218, shoot 5, no assault, armor 7, 6 health instead of 5 health. Nerve 4, height 6, no unit strength, 110 points. So it's got 1 more health and its nerve is better. I don't know how that works. Evade, fly, targeting systems, vehicle. It comes with 3 rotary cannons, which, yeah. Can add correctional stabilizer for 10 points. That's just an auto include. Just make it 120 points. Give it headstrong. Just do that. You can replace 1 rotary cannon with a laser cannon or a missile launcher for 10 points, regardless of which one. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. The gunship model looks awesome. It doesn't really look that much different to the dropship, but you've just got 2 rotary cannon sponsons. You can actually 3D print the sponsons from the Mantic Volt. Actually, I've done that and it just looks so cool. I've magnetized them as well, so I've got all the options ready. And yeah, I'll have to put that video up at some point because it's just awesome. It's just so cool. Next we have the Bronco Armoured Car. Speed 915, shoot 5, assault of 6. I will say the gunship variant, sorry, before we continue, I like it more than the dropship variant. Yes, it's more points, but it's got more health, nerve is better, and the rotary cannons are a good anti-infantry weapon. You could go for a bit of anti-tank or anti-aircraft if you want. So yes, you've got less shots, but you've got the option there. It's an option that's not really going to burst the bank, and why not? Why not? So back to what I was saying. The Bronco Armoured Car, speed 915, shoot 5, assault of 6, armor 7, 5 health, nerve 4, height of 4, unit strength 1, 115 points. Evade, heavy armor, vehicle and wield. It's got ramming for its melee, which is 2 dice AP1, and it comes with a type 25 cannon, and it's got 2 firing methods that you choose one of when you're shooting. Both 24-inch range, penetrator shells 3 dice AP4, anti-tank devastating D2, and fragmentation shells are 2 dice AP1, blast D4, pinning. It's not a cheap vehicle, but it's not bad speed. It's not fast as the Mule, but it's got heavy armour and armour 7 and 5 health, so it's got a bit of durability around it. You can replace the Type 25 cannon with dual shredder cannons for 15 points. Why did you do this, Mantic? 24-inch range, 5 dice, pinning, targeting systems. So yeah, each shredder cannon can target a separate thing. I don't know how this works, if I'm honest. I'm guessing this is a typo error, but if it isn't, you're having 10 shots. That is a possible squad killer. And if you don't use them both to shoot down one squad, they've both got pinning on them. So one's going that way, one's going that way. Both have got a pin marker on them. I mean, that makes it 130 points. It's a bit expensive, but Yeah, yikes. To be honest, I'd lower the points cost for the upgrade to 10 and just have 1. Even though I think it's really good, I think it's way too good. The Type 25 cannon is pretty decent as a anti-tank weapon. It's not a bad infantry weapon, but you're more using that for the pinning capabilities, to be honest. But the shredder cannons, Jesus. Just Jesus. Finally, we have the Wolverine tank. Speed 612, shooter 5, assault of 6, armor 8, 6 health, nerve 5, height 4, unit strength 1, 135 points. Heavily armor, tracked vehicle. It comes with a laser carbine sponsons, which are range 18, 2 dice, blaze away, why not? And ramming, which are 2 dice, AP1 in melee. You can give it smoke launchers like the APC variant, just as the same thing, and it's also for 10 points. Comes with a 150mm smoothbore cannon with 2 firing variants. Both 48-inch range, both have 3 dice. Penetration shells are AP4, anti-tank devastating 2, and the fragmentation shells are AP1, blast D4, pinning. So it's basically a more durable, not as fast version of the Bronco, essentially. Yeah, essentially it is. I think it's pretty decent. I like the model. I'll try and remember to put instructions for the building the Wolverine in the description below, because the instructions that come with it, they are not good at all. I mean, who doesn't like a big beefy tank? And the Wolverine is a big beefy tank. To be honest, it fits the Marauders out of all the factions that can take the Wolverine, because it looks like a handed down bit of human tech from years past, and the Marauders are all about that, really. You could have a couple of Marauders just sitting or standing on the tank like tank riders. You know, there's that. I just think it's great. Yes, there's other ways to get anti-infantry and anti-tank, but who doesn't like a big tank? Next we have the command on page 133, starting with the Ripper Warlord. Speed 612, shooter 5, assault of 4, armor 6, armor 6, 4 health, nerve 4, height 3, unit strength 1, 80 points. Bulky, inspiring, resilient 1, tactician 2 black dice, targeting systems. I'm assuming it's because you can take Ripper Rainmakers with him. Command order is solid as a contract. Uses 2 command points. 2 units within 12 inch may hit the dirt and remove a pin marker they have. Do not mark these units as activated unless they already were. Okay. Okay. I can see the point in doing that, but it's maybe it's not a bad order, but I was expecting a bit more than that, to be honest. But you know, that's just me. Comes with a rotary cannon and assault weapons, which in this the rotary cannon has got weight of 1 on it. The assault weapons in this case 3 dice, AP3, anti-tank. You can add up to 2 Ripper Maulers for 40 points each, or up to 2 Ripper Rainmakers for 50 points each. So that is a 160 points for 2 Ripper Maulers and him, or 180 points for 2 Ripper Rainmakers and him. I'd go with the Rainmakers because you've got so much firepower going off, but having the Maulers means you're getting a hell of a lot of close combat capabilities. So there's reasons to take both. Reason to take either, should I say. The command's not that great for it, to be honest. But out Inspiring and Tactician 2 black dice. That's never a bad option. Next we have the Brawler Captain. Speed 612, shoot of 5, assault of 4, armour 5, 2 health, nerve 4, height 2, user strength 1, 50 points. Countercharge, Inspiring, Resilient 1, small unit 3, so as long as you've got 3 or less models in the unit, they get a penalty to shoot them. Tactician 1 black dice, vicious in assault. Command order, closing fire. It's an aura, 2 command points. When declaring a charge, all friendly non-vehicle units within 6 inch may first take a shoot action against the unit being charged. This is one I can't see being used that often, but I can see it being really powerful. If there's a nearby unit, like say if you've got him and four brawlers with him, because you can do that, and then say a unit of 5 commandos with a HMG. If you're able to get them both out, which there are ways of doing it that's not that hard, have these nearby, and then the HMG can shoot the unit, pin them, and then they can get into close combat. So that would mean the enemy's going to have a penalty -1 to hit because they've got a pin marker on them. That could potentially make a big difference. The Brawler Captain's got a pistol and claws. Can't give him Ripper Talons, unfortunately. Ripper Claws, whatever you want to call it, unfortunately. Which is a shame. But it is what it is, unfortunately. You can add up to 4 Marauder Brawlers for 10 points each. That is 100 points. Or up to 4 Marauder Brawlers with Ripper Claws for 15 points each. That is 110 points. I'd probably go with the Ripper Claws just so you have so many dice being thrown into close combat, to be honest. You've got options, but that's what I'd do. Next we have the Commando Captain. Speed 612, shoot of 5, assault of 5, armour 5, 2 health, nerve 4, height 2, unit strength 1, 70 points. Inspiring, Resilient 1, small unit 3, Tactician 1 red dice. Command order for the money. It's an aura, 1 command point. Friendly units within 18 inch do not receive a pin marker if hit by a pinning weapon. So that's a really useful one. With so many pinning weapons out there, this can negate it pretty easily. And if there's a flying unit within 18, that will negate it. Actually, if the Commando Captain is in the dropship, that could be really useful. You keep him in the dropship, and he's just gonna make sure it don't get pinned. That can be really, really, really useful. It's 70 points to do that though, so it's kind of a 70 point upgrade. Maybe. Obviously, because if it's within 18 inch, you could just have them moving about, and 18 inch range for an order is pretty decent actually. Comes with a heavy pistol, 12 inch range, 2 dice trademark, and assault weapon ray, 2 dice. Add up to 4 commandos for 10 points each. That is 120 points for that, if you have all 5. Or up to 2 goblin snipers for 20 points each. That is 110 points. Why you can't have units of goblin snipers, I have no idea whatsoever. There should be units of goblin snipers. I don't think you should have units of 5 to 10. No. I think for the Marauders, they would be more covert, so I think you would have units of 3. It's a weird unit size, and yes, they can still be broken, but that's how I think it should work, to be honest. That's just me. If anyone from the rules committee is listening in, I think 20 points each for unit 3, that's 60 points for 3 snipers. I don't think that's too bad. Goblin sniper stats, speed 612, shooter 5, assault of 7, armor 5, 1 health, nerve 5, height 2, unit strength 1, 25 points. It's saying it's 20 points here. Maybe this is for the future because it says 25 points here and 20 points. Make your mind up. They come with basic assault weapons, which in this case is 1 dice. Assault non-weapons, well, yeah. Sniper rifle, 36-inch range, 1 dice, AP2, sniper scope targeting systems. So each sniper can target different enemies. Just use them to take out drones and special weapons, really. I like goblin snipers. Like I say, I don't see why you can't have units of them on their own. Or just have units of one. One goblin sniper as a unit. Why not? Why not? I'd go with the commando captain with goblin snipers just so they've got the range. That's the reason why I do it. Although just having the commandos means you've got more shots and they're a bit more durable and pretty good in close combat for what they are. Next we have the Marauder Warlord. Speed 612, shoot 5, assault of 3, armor 6, 4 health, nerve 4, height 2, unit strength 1, 90 points. Countercharge, inspiring, resilient 1, tactician, 1 red dice, vicious in assault. Command order, green rage, it's an aura, 2 command points to use. All friendly units within 12 inch gain frenzy 3, so you get to reroll 3 dice that fail to hit in close combat. Yeah, that's not bad, that's not bad. Comes with a heavy pistol and assault weaponry, which in this case are 4 dice AP1. You can add up to 4 brawlers for 10 points each, or up to 4 brawlers with Ripper Claws for 15 points each. I'd just go with Ripper Claws. Well, would I? Maybe. He's 90 points on its own, so that is 140 points to have 4 basic brawlers, or 150 points to have them with Ripper Claws. So, yeah, just maybe have them with basic claws, just because he's got 4 dice on his own. So that's 2 dice, that's 8, that's 12 dice just for them. Yeah, I'd do that because you're getting so many dice anyway, so why not? Finally, we have the Raider Command Vehicle. You can only have one of these in your army, unfortunately. I don't see why, but maybe I'm missing something. Speed 915, shoot 4, assault of 6, armor 7, 6 health, nerve 4, height 4, unit strength 0, 105 points. Evade, tactician 1, you get 1 green dice. Vehicle, very inspiring and wheeled. Command order is Heavy Metal Rampage. It's an aura for 1 command point. All friendly units with the Walker keyword within 12 inch increase their speed for both their basic move and their sprint by 3 and gain the sure-footed keyword. That's not one I've seen much, so let's see what that does. Sure-footed. Units with this keyword may ignore the effects of a hindered charge when charging into or out of or through difficult terrain or when charging over an obstacle. That's pretty nice. There's only really 2 units I think this is going to affect, if I've got this right. It only affects grunt bots and stump bots. So it's a... I mean, it's got green command dice, which it's the best one. But the command order is very limited. If you're not taking a fair few units of stump bots or grunt bots, the command order is pointless. But what else does this unit come with? It comes with a pinnacle mounted HMG and 2 dice AP1 ramming. You can replace their pinnacle mounted HMG with a missile launcher for 5 points. The pinnacle mounted HMG is 3 dice in this case, not 4. Huh, okay. Either weapon, it doesn't really matter. This is really more for Annihilation games. For normal games, I just don't bother. Don't bother. It's a waste of a command slot, to be honest. It's not worth it. The Marauders are a jack-of-all-trades army. Although being mercenaries, they kind of have to be. They've got units that are good at shooting, they've got units that are good in close combat, they've got units that are good at both, although one thing can take precedence over the other. However, they're all kind of managed like the main tank rule for making tanks. You've got 3 options to go for: speed, armour and firepower. You can take 2, the third one's going to have to be worse. And the Marauders are kind of like that, in the sense that if you want to be good at shooting and close combat, you're going to have to be weak durability wise. If you want good durability and shooting, you're going to have to be weak in close combat. You could say that's kind of similar in other armies, but it stands out more here than others. They have also got their armour capabilities are a bit low when it comes to their infantry, but that's kind of here and there considering what other armies they've got. Their basic infantry have got pretty decent close combat and shoot values, but like I say, it's a jack-of-all-trades situation. They can do everything, but you kind of want them doing one thing or another. And it's like so many units can be good at infantry, be good against vehicles. You kind of want to have one or the other, not both. And these, you kind of want to be careful taking them, because they can do multiple things at once, which, if worked right, can make them go really well. So, with that being said, goodbye for now.